Very hard that time what to do with the populated people in some areas, and thought that they would improve their livings by giving them high technology and bring all people from different parts of the country and stay together. And if they succeed and they do better than those who are outside the irrigation, then they would establish similar projects elsewhere. And so we have all the tribes here in Uganda, except Karamajongo. That time was very difficult to get. He was a warrior. And then Sebei. Sebei was not a warrior, but it was difficult to attract anybody. So the other tribes from the old districts are here. So it is a heterogeneous community. That gives you an idea of what type of community here. Now these farmers are organized in a cooperative society called Abashega Piyamba. Principally to be able to market their produce and get agricultural inputs, to have one voice. So that's the whole idea. Farming on their farms. And they grow sorts of vegetables and grains as well. So they grow hot pepper, maize seed, tomatoes, onions, name it, can grow in these areas. So what makes them successful is because of that irrigation. We divert the water which comes from the mountain there, and we divert it at two locations. One is somewhere here and another one here, there and there. So the water comes from the mountain. It's we get it from many streams when it's raining, and when it's a dry season, the snow melts. So when we talk of environment, we are the first to think about the impact. Because if we don't contain the environment, then the livelihood here would really diminish, because the volume of water would decrease and decrease until the rivers are dry. So the quality of water in terms of science is very good for irrigation, because it contains less harmful salts, those sodium and other things that would affect the crop. It's not there, and that's how we have survived for a long time without getting salinization and other things you would think of. That was one success thing. The other success story about it is that we managed to have a slope, a uniform slope. The grading wasn't so much, so we are here and our project is downwards. But you see it enlarges. Yeah. Those are capillaries, huh? This one here.
Obuzayo kati kwasa mukazi
You guys, this I was planning right next day. No, I was telling, I wanted to tell you guys, we are young.
This farmer and that farmer who agree on who he gets first, both they get and share the water that is coming in. Because that farmer is the different one, each farmer has 8 acres. So from here up to the end, you know what people are up to. Long ago they used to use the south. They built this big bridge and big side. All the control they have, by the
Okay, good morning everybody. Good morning. I'm Mugume Amos. I'm the district agriculture officer. I finished in 1978. For our purposes of soils, we have 3 agroecological zones. First, in the eastern zone, where we have acidic soils, which are good for tea. That's why it is quite dominant in the eastern part. And for dairy farming, as you go along the national park, Kibale National Park. Then we have the middle zone. The middle zone is full of volcanic soils, very fertile soils, deep. You can go 10 feet down and you find black soils, which are quite fertile. And they are good for matoke, dairy farming, and vegetable growing. And we have a lot of rivers coming from the mountains. Then we have the mountain range in Mount Resort. Kabarole is quite productive in terms of matoke. After the improvement of the Kampala Fort Portal Road about 3 years ago, the district started producing a lot of matoke to outside.
And I remember one of the
since it has not rained, it could not have been a problem.
Somewhere that side, we were digging the parent material. It was even not over 60 centimeters.
Ship this one in the good size. You build the house. It's a permanent house.
It makes bricks.
Yeah, bricks. Yeah, the black bricks. Yeah.
These are bricks of cement.
This has become a major export from this area because there's cement in it. This rock, and it's nearly 90% of the cement you get from Hima. So they take it from here and the big trucks, and they grind it there and they process it. But it's about 90%. Here we use it raw to build a local
volcanic activities we have. They are still active in some areas.
We get earthquakes on a regular basis. Yeah.
And down there it is much more hard. You dig.
It's harder down, you got to go.
Get this soil, and when you come back to the department, you try to get the results. I'm going to get this one, go analyze. Get this one, go analyze. We can carry the samples in our hands.
Then from here up to here.
Some soil here you take in your place.
Kasikane kakusembeza.
You are getting them over now the elephant grass. Are you seeing the students up?
Yes. Nakikutte.
Welcome to Mpanga Growers Tea Factory. For a number of you, I believe this is the first time, but some of you could have been here before. And we are hoping that this visit proves to be worthwhile to you. So we are going to start with the field. After tackling the field, we shall tackle the processing, the factory. The advantage with Mpanga is that we maintain a demonstration garden nearby, just about 20 meters out from here. So I'll start with the origin of tea, just briefly. Tea is not an indigenous crop to Uganda and for the rest of Africa. It came out of China and it was discovered around the 17th century. And it got to Uganda at about 1870. That's when it got to Uganda. It started off in Buganda, but the conditions there didn't prove to be very suitable for tea. So it was also tested in Kabarole. And because of the high elevation and the more rainfall, which is evenly distributed, because to grow tea well, you require a rainfall of between 1,200 millimeters to 1,700 millimeters per annum. And this should be well distributed. And then your temperatures should be within the ranges of 26 on average to about 24. So you can see you can deduce from that it requires more or less.
And the land is part of it. That's why you see most is being grown on a slanting land. There is a reason for that. Maybe you can start from nursery preparation up to the time of plucking. And I'm very sure you'll be able to understand from his explanation because he's a man of experience.
So, good morning. As you said, I'm a field assistant, and without wasting time, we start with the tea planting. If you need to plant tea, this is the best tea we plant, in fact. This is the best. We go by cutting these whips. We make them grow vigorously, at least for a period of 6 months after the field has been pruned like that one. So you leave it to grow at least to 1.5 foot, 16 inches. Then when it is so vigorous, then you go and cut. You cut them, take them to the nursery. While we do the nursery preparation, we have to collect soils, black and the red soils, plus the black soils and the red soils. The black soils is for the growth, where we put the fertilizers NPK we are using. And the red soil is for at least when we are planting in a polypod. You get out these tender leaves, whereby it has to be in a soft way that you don't disturb. Those ones you have to use say we call it round wounds reeds. We put it on top, so you want to bring it into the same level. You put a plucking ground. As they pluck, they take out whatever is on above the plucking ground. The one which is below the plucking ground, you have to leave it there. Then tea is taken is being plucked from the field with the pluckers using the baskets. We have, say, for us in the field, we have to be with them.
We plant in 100 acres, and you can't handweed all this. So what we do, we use in controlling the weeds. We use what we call glyphosate. In most cases, it comes in the brand names of Roundup. So we spray using Roundup to minimize or to check the weed growth. In other words, use chemical handling. But again, there is weeds that grow inside the tea and become tall. Those ones we call them flag weeds.
They open it at 3. A vehicle comes, takes the gross. Then after offloading the leaf, it will come back for tear. We have 35% two leaves and a bag. 10 hours, and you can see how we are processing. That you see is a monorail. That is our means of transport. And we have the passing in distribution. Is able to determine the cost.